Ready to go.
Alright.
Welcome everyone to the January Water Board meeting. Start out with roll call. Steve Library.
Here.
Scott Elliott.
Here.
Teresa Hartwig. Here. Tony Perkins.
Here. Alright, first item on the agenda, this is the first year of the meeting, so we have election of board officers and appointment of a board attorney. First up is president. I'm currently president. I'll do it again if you want me to. And we need to do these individually. So first we would need to open the nominations for president.
Nominate Scott Elliott as our president.
Second.
We'll close the nominations. All right, all those in favor of me being president?
All right.
All right.
Didn't ask, but you were vice president before, so.
I did, if you would want me to, so.
All
As
right.
long as you come to every meeting.
Scott, you're abstaining from that vote? Or
Yes.
you- Okay.
So we don't need me
And for vice president, I would nominate Steve for vice president.
I'll second.
Any other nominations? Okay, nominations are closed. I'll make a motion to appoint Steve as our vice president. Second.
A second, sorry.
Alright, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Alright. Lastly, board attorney, the town has already, appointed Mr. Patmore, and he's doing it for the same rate as he did last year. Please don't ask me what that is, but it's been the same for last 5, 6, 7 years.
Oh, yeah, a long time.
Long time. So I would make a motion that we appoint Captain Patmore as the water board attorney.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Got through all that. We have the minutes from the December 2nd meeting. You have a copy of those at your place. You were also emailed a copy. I have reviewed them. They look accurate to me.
I'll make a motion to approve the December 2nd meeting minutes.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Alright. Next up is the, public comments and comments by me. And the only thing I have is to recommend, and he showed up twice, so he's, he's there. David Maddox, to be our newest board member. He would be replacing Matt, but he's actually would be, finishing out
Frank Powers.
Frank's term, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was Frank's, yeah. So, because Frank was on his own term. Yeah. So, we would basically make a motion to recommend him to the town, as the town actually appoints. And if we do that, I will go to Monday's meeting for the town, and they'll vote on it there.
I'll move to recommend Dave Maddox to town council for a new water board member.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
All right.
Aye. Opposed? You don't need to come to that meeting on Monday. I'll go and we'll have good news about rate increases for it too, so
That's
you might want to avoid that one. Okay, next up, are our reports. As far as the water production revenue, pretty well what everything you would expect. Chris, we still ended the year with a whole bunch of more water main than we did last year. At this point, I'm gonna blame it on that big water break, leave it at that. Because the number's been about the same since about the middle of the year. Well, hello there.
Hello.
You know, maybe get you something more exciting than.
No.
Uh,
They are more exciting. Yeah. But New York church, the majority of that was.
Yeah, it all happened. It didn't run out from yours, but it's pushing 20 million gallons. Well, you can see it. Just look at the combined gallons. Last year was 264, 528. And this year it's 284, 346. Look at the revenue numbers. It's chump change, 20-some $1,000. It got that way in about April or May. It fluctuated a little bit, but it never really changed. So we're just gonna blame it on there with a whole lot more water coming out of that 4-inch line that was in that ditch than we ever thought did. Now, the good side of that is, the plant made most of that water, okay? Because we're almost identical what we bought from the total year over year. So the plant picked up the slack there. I don't know if that's a good thing, we still have to pay for it, but, you know, we weren't right in good shape for it. The other thing on the reports is something discovered just this evening. I guess we'll call it miscommunication on what had been reconciled and what had been transferred. If you recall back when we were looking at the October sheet, we were talking about, matter of fact, with the budgets, that transfer that 250, and we were a little, because the bank balance at the end of October was 591, 544. We're usually looking for it to be closer to 700. We thought at that point that September, you never have the month you're in transfers. You know those credit card payments? They're never transferred. We just kind of got used to that, okay? But normally the month before it is. We thought it was. It wasn't. So it was reconciled, it just didn't get transferred. So that was $181,000 that was not in that number that we got in October. You add that in, it was there, it just wasn't in our account, it was sitting in another account. Takes that number up to $773,000. So that's for October. And then that makes the November report, even better too, because the November you have in your packet, which is the one with the big circle at the bottom, because we're not, in that one didn't get transferred either. That was still transfers through August. That was another, where'd it go? $102,000, almost $103,000. So the report you have for bill revenue and water revenue receipts, the one you have in your packet says 689,184. That number is actually 973,789. So, Jay's gonna have a discussion about that and the importance of
Yeah.
getting them transferred.
And I just wanna say too, that just so there's a little bit further explanation, in November, as you see at the bottom, that we were transferred through September, and that's because we had issues balancing for October.
Right.
There was a correction that was done by someone else in the office that didn't get relayed, we were off, we couldn't figure it out. We are balanced now, but there was a delay in the balancing, which is why the November one said September, which would normally say October, but
Right.
we hadn't balanced for October yet, because we were having issues. So I'm assuming because we weren't balanced for October, she was nervous to transfer September's and October until we were balanced, so I believe that is
Yeah.
the
And
delay,
it
so.
is, it's just that we need to know the number because, you know, we had that discussion at the last meeting about, you know, we're a little tight on cash, and we're
Right.
fixing to hit it for another 250,000 in March or April once the
Right.
year's closed, so. Anyway, less concerned about that at this point now, so. Do you know where the county's at? Have they got everybody paid?
There was one invoice that they had not paid that was supposed to be in the December meeting, so that should be,
15,000.
yeah. So I'm gonna get an updated cash ledger on that, when I
Well, 'cause
send the
we're about-
invoices tonight.
Yeah, because we're about to give them something worth writing a check for.
Yes, and so I did have a conversation with, Ed about that, because they are delayed in paying.
Yes.
And, that's been kind of a problem. So now that we actually have invoices from the contractor,
Yeah.
both Ed and I guess, are gonna have to, keep pressure that they get paid at the very next meeting, so.
Well, fortunately, as big as these are, we will go through that 600. You'll have these two, probably one more, and then that'll be it. We'll be paying
Right,
that.
so when we, approve these tonight, if they get approved, I will go ahead and do the claim tonight and get it sent, so they can make sure they have it right away for their next meeting. And then we'll just have to keep following up and making sure that it's on the docket and stuff, because I wanna make sure the contractors got paid. And I know Midwest, I mean, of course, they want paid as well, but they're a little bit more understanding and stuff, so I wanna make sure the contractors get paid, so we're gonna
Because
have.
most of the bulk of these payments are for materials.
Mhm.
So. All right, GIS, you told me you got your goodies in, that kind of stuff,
We
kinda got a halfway plan.
We received everything, it was here, so.
What?
That's what those boxes.
Oh, those boxes, yeah.
Yeah.
So I've contacted Brett and he's gonna come train us. He sent me an email today, which Russell was out of the office today, so we'll probably set the training up for the week of the 19th.
Okay,
So,
okay,
so February meeting I should, but we're ready for it.
okay,
I mean, two of the guys already got it on their phones, we got the tablet in the office, so.
all right.
We're using it already, so.
Still gonna talk
Matter of
about it
getting-
on Thursday a little bit, just you bring me up to date a little bit on
Yes.
some details.
I'll show it to you. It's-
Yeah,
it's
we'll
in my office.
go through that here. We got enough to do with that. Okay, capital projects, the Mariah Hill line, phase one. I've got some pay requests, thought we'd just get them out of the way so that we can get those done first. You should have 3 of them at your place. There's one just for Midwestern. This is for, the bulk of this is design and some work on easements. The total is for $20,700. And again, this is for the section, from the little red flush hydrant on top of the hill to Mariah.
Need a motion to approve this. Payment.
Yeah, $20,700.
I move to approve invoice number 2024-08,000-04, amount of $20,700 to the Western Engineers.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we have 2 pay requests from the contractor. There's a Midwest cover page on it, pay request is on the back. Pay request number 1 is for $368,120.81. As I stated a minute ago, I did not print out the 17 pages to go with this. 300 and some odd thousand of this is for materials. And if you drove down the gravel road over there, you would not have any problem believing it. There's pipe and stuff stacked everywhere out there. So we would need a motion to approve this pay request in the amount of $368,128.81. And these are coming out of, from the county's, money they give us for this project, the $600,000.
I'd move to, pay SLB Pipe Solutions LLC their first, application number one, $368,120.81.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, then we have their, pay request number 2. They missed the December meeting, the first one, so that's why we get to it. It is in the amount of $81,063.12.
I'm going to pay partial payout number 2 to SLB Pipe Solutions LLC in the amount of $81,063.12.
Second.
All those in favor?
Alright.
Opposed? All right, project update on phase 1. It is hacked into the old Patoka line. I know they're laying pipe, but I don't know how far they are, because it's muddy back that road, my truck's clean.
So basically what they've done is they are going to right past prices for all the meter pits are. and
Yeah.
everything. They're gonna go get they got a Vactron coming Thursday. They're gonna blow all that out because the drawing that I got of that, there's like 4 meters sitting there.
Yeah.
Five that connects the 3-inch that goes, is there, so they're just gonna blow the whole thing out, and just put the line beside it. I think they're gonna stop at that driveway, put a hydrant in, and Monday, I think he asked, we're gonna fill that line, they're gonna have a pressure test, that section of it.
Okay.
So, I was out there today, everything looked good, they were finishing up some cleanup and stuff there on Price's property. And they were gonna go down and start on one of the board jobs. I think it's from right there where the 3-inch stops,
Mhm.
and then going across Pond's property. So,
And I did mention that if you haven't driven by, they have, like, I would call it roughing in the boards.
Right.
You know, they're working on those rep workers.
this week's gone a lot smoother than the first.
Yeah, they had a few issues on the tab, but they got through, so we'll give them one for getting through it.
They've been good to work with so far.
Yes, they really, like I said, they had a slow start, so.
Yeah.
so, But we take care of that stuff. It's all, I mean, yeah, it's gonna be fine, so. Tim, the guy's the boss on the job, real good to work with.
Yeah.
so.
So that's phase 1, it's in process. Yeah. Just weather holes, this thing's gonna be done sooner than
Yeah,
later.
he was like shocked how far he already,
Yeah.
like I said, we're gonna hold it off this Friday, which they think on Friday anyway, so.
Yeah.
So they should finish what they want to get accomplished this week. It'd be great to have the first line pressure better.
Okay, then on to phase 2. I did not bring. Okay, I remember, maybe I can, hold on. It really hasn't changed, so I can use this one. There's a new fancier one floating around, nope. I don't know where it's at, it's just right here. In case anybody wants to see it, I got it. But the route has not changed substantially at all. It hasn't changed at all since this drawing. So basically, phase 2, we haven't, this is without extending phase 1. New White House, little red flush hydrants atop the hill. From there, we stay on the west side of the road. Go past, like Ball Box, we're still on the west side of the road, but then there's that house there, they redid. It is on the west side of the road, and it sits dang near on top of the road. okay? There's just not room there, okay? So right before we get to that, we're crossing over to the east side and coming up, and then crossing right back over at 1900. There's fire hydrant there, and the 6 inches right there, and connecting to the 6 inch. So, we are working on easements, and we're going to need some. And Kevin, can you help explain this? I got something in here about, we have blanket easements.
We have easements going out part of the way.
Yes. Almost,
I don't know why they did that. It was old South End. They got easements on the south end of that line. where it
Yeah.
comes down. Then I guess they ran in county right away. Up in, move that into more Mariah proper.
yeah,
Or in the, there's actually, it's a platted area, and there is a reserved public utility easement in there.
yeah,
But, I think we're just running the county right away, basically, up to the northern end. That's where these people are, is up toward Mariah Hill more. People on the
Yeah.
south end, they
Yeah.
had given easements back in the,
Is David Goggles, he's the furthest south?
yeah. It goes where we would, if you turn
That's
the
the first
page
one.
on this one, there's a detail page back here. And David Goggles is the first one where we start buying. There's something about that wire property up there, and I'm
Wires had given easements, but not one of them, but then one of them that gave an easement bought the other one out. There were two brothers and a son, I think.
Yeah.
One of them, and one of them who was not building, the one that was building there,
Uh-huh.
he gave us an easement back. That was kind of the thing where they bought the property, I said, hey, we'll just give the town an easement.
Yeah.
Right over this line. So I went in and got those, but the one who was not building or anything, did not just give us an easement back when they bought the property.
okay.
And then we got Edward Meyer estate had owned some property, or some Meyer, but,
And we got Kearns
we
again.
have easements from back in the 1960s, 1964,
Yeah.
for some of the land on the south end.
Yeah, it looks like the way he's got this on here that part of Goggles we have, and then, which is probably where we extended.
Yeah, it was all in 180. There was 1 acre up. Goble has a 1 acre piece that for some reason was accepted from that, but it was actually, I think his grandparents who actually gave the easement back
Okay.
then, so it's, I don't know. Those were all the easements we were able to find.
Yeah. And, then these last three are Lee. I don't quite understand what that is. Place water main in 1900 north. Oh, it's platted with a right of way. Oh, okay, so when we come up 1900, we're in the 1900 right of way. Cause that's a platted street, I guess that's what he's saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was it's a platted street in.
Yeah, because if you look at the map of the town, there's a huge area there where, I guess it was platted for
Yeah, it's platted.
a super highway through Mariah.
Even though it's not a town, it's a platted subdivision, so we did reserve the easement for it.
So, the total easements is, they've got it 5218. I only put 20-some thousand in the budget, including work on them, so I think we'll probably got that covered. You know, I think we're probably fine there. Anything else on those easements?
No, I mean, the blanket easement, I think Ed would want to discuss,
Yeah.
you know, the blanket easement, maybe change it.
He did ask me for the barbed wire easement, I already got him that, I got him that first time in the morning, so he's got that.
I mean, if it's changing an easement, and I don't have to buy the easement again, I'm okay with that, if it makes sense, but if it doesn't, I mean, I kinda leave that up to Kevin, to you and them. If it makes better sense for us, I'm fine with that, but I don't wanna be buying easements twice. Don't like buying the first time, so, you know,
He didn't think we'd have to, so.
yeah,
I don't have a problem with the easement.
yeah,
There's already a water line there.
yeah,
So all we're doing is replacing the water line with a bigger water line.
yeah.
It only benefits them by switched it out, in my opinion.
Yeah, so, well, we got a meeting Thursday, we can talk a little more about that, unless he has a really good argument.
Got easements already.
Yeah, we got easements, I'm good with easements, if I got easements. The next piece of paper in that thing is a really bad copy, with a big red box with my copy around it. I talked to Chris a little bit, and we have a progress meeting Thursday morning, meet Chris, Russ, and Ed, and contractor. I guess the best way for me to put this is the longer I look at this, okay, this line comes up, I'm very happy with the line coming up, I'm very happy with everything, I'm happy with the connection. I'm not happy after that. Part of this thing is to get water up to that line that runs on 62. It runs basically almost to Dale, it does run to Dale.
Is that 4 inch? Is that 4 or 6?
Part of it's 4, part of it's 6. 6 in town, 4 on each end. We've got the Patoka pit up on the east end of the line. That currently puts about 1 million gallons a year into our system. That pit's gonna move, Patoka's gonna move it. And quite honestly, I asked them not to move for a while until we got this line in. But the reason for that pit is to basically supply that area up there by the junction, because it is at an elevation that makes it difficult for our tanks. Our tanks would have to be overflowing all the time to get water up to them. And part of that may lead to that line just feeding that area. Which means more, we need to get this water distributed. So, if you have 2 cents, you're welcome to put it in here, but if you look at this drawing where it says point of connection, there are two 2-inch lines going north, and then there's a 6-inch line, and it goes up, and then it turns right. You can't see it on this, but it actually turns into a 4-inch, where it runs up along bed tanks, goes down the highway, and hooks in on the other side. So, and the one going towards the tower, where it says to the tower, it stops at the church in the parking lot. It don't even go to the tower. So, I'm just not happy with that. And, we've done most of these projects, and I think we've done pretty good with it. We've done the best I think we could. I'm not sure I'm happy with this. I want to have a conversation with Chris, with Ed, with Russ, and basically wanted to bring it to your attention, but I'm having a conversation. I would see this as, if it goes anywhere, it might be an alternate to the line that we're calling phase 2. It might be a phase 3. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is. It may be as simple as one of the things I'd said before was just take that 6-inch on over to the water tower and connect it over there to the top of the hill of the water tower. But I don't want to have to come back to Brian. While we're there, I want to be done with this. Okay? So,
The 6-inch on the north side, 62 too, huh?
yeah,
I think there's one section,
there's a section
there's a
of,
section like from Chateau
I think,
through the tower, I think it is.
oh, it's not on.
It's on the north side.
Yeah.
Yes.
North side, yes.
Yes, it's on the north side.
Yeah, the 6-inch,
The shortest distance is poke a 6 through somebody's yard.
It is.
or poke a 12 up through there. Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the things I thought of, and I thought, well, that'll give her a heart attack, then we're gonna run a 12-inch up that road. So, but I do wanna have those conversations and basically, if we're gonna do it right, what should we be doing? We don't have to,
What about tying that 6 dead end, Is it dead end?
Yeah, dead end, right there at the bottom of the church parking lot. Yeah, take it on.
Across the road there.
Yeah, and maybe even replace part of it with a 12 inch, you know, do the easy, the gimme stuff. And, you know, because that 6 inch that runs up there by the, where they do the turtle soup and all that, oh, that bad boy is in. When I say it's in them people's front yard, okay, we'll have to lock the front door and track run over them.
Yeah.
Ryan Hill's
Now, what is a 6 inch, what does tying a 6 inch do for us? Does that give you?
Yeah, I don't know,
protection?
and that's,
Does that give you fire
oh, yeah. Well, Chris and I were talking, I mean, this is not in the world because if you think back, and he had the perfect example. Remember when we took the 12 inch down at Holiday Village Park, okay? And we shoved it under the road and hooked it to that 4 inch that ran along, that is now a 12. And then they wanted to build a hotel and they had to have fire protection. We were like, we're a year and a half from having a line in front of your place. Hooked a fire hydrant to it, turned everything on, and we flowed because we were feeding it from both sides.
Yeah.
made a big difference.
So what we're doing is gonna make a huge difference in Rye Hill. You're probably gonna have to replace some washers in your faucets, 'cause we're probably gonna blow them out. But I still don't think we're quite hitting the nail on the head there. So I wanna, you know, I've got Chris, I've got Russ in the room on Thursday and Ed, and, you know, you all tell me what you think, you know. You're the water folks, but I just don't like the look of it. So,
The 90 you have circled, the connection points,
right,
like right here closer. This is just
Yeah.
a point of interest there.
so we, you know, and I mean,
And then from this point of connection north,
that's a 2 inch.
yeah.
Until it gets up there right at Ventex and it's 4, until it gets under the road and hits the 6.
Okay.
So I'm assuming.
Is that
we
what
just
you're
had
saying, is that what you're saying, it'd be pretty tight to try to get a
Yeah.
line in
Yeah. I think the easy thing to do, and I don't know if it's a good thing, is to take the 12 all the way across 1900 and then put a 12 or an 8 or whatever from the church to the top. Or 6 or whatever big it's gonna be or should be, you know? So, but boy, I looked at that one, ooh, that bad boy went straight, that'd be great. Then the Chateau might have a problem with this. Or the track with it.
What kind of lines over there to the condos?
The majority is AC. All the 4 inch, most of the 4 inches, you go straight, good golly, so. But everything in town, anything's got a hydrant on it is AC, 6 inch.
So that's what I say, you know, if you come in and just take some of it out. Is that worth it? I don't know. And it can't get too expensive, I mean, you know.
It's
You
not-
definitely wanna have several like you had a couple 6 inch tie-ins there
Yeah.
across the road, that would make a tremendous amount of difference.
Oh, huge.
Do we have our lead service line inventory done through there in case we have to replace anything while we're there?
Say that
Do we
again.
have our lead service line inventory done in that area?
No. Mariah Hill is one of mine.
But it wouldn't take much.
No.
It'd be a very
I mean,
limited
it's-
number.
I got mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just don't knock it over.
Yeah. We're gonna be putting line through
I
it,
need-
trying to do it.
Yeah.
So speaking of the lead service lines, you know, I need to have a conversation with the board, I'll try to do that tomorrow before we meet Thursday, but, this last set of letters that we sent out, I know we got better results than we did the 2 previous, so, but, and then I've still got 2 pages that Paul and I are working on putting in ourselves, so.
Yeah.
He and I worked on it 2 weeks ago, before the holidays, and we got quite a few done, so. It's a long ways to go, but the number's getting smaller.
I just figured that's where we probably have the most, and we're tearing up things, and not get it done.
Well, yeah, because most of the lines over there are copper service lines. just about everyone that's on 62 that I had to deal with, copper.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? Did we have them send out a solicitation? My in-laws got a thing from American Water saying to pay like $5 a month for lateral protection.
No.
That would have been us.
No,
It
ours-
was American, it was real strange. It was like, I looked at it, it was talking about the lead service lines, and I said, oh yeah, that's some of the towns in the, and I looked at it, I was like, no, this is soliciting you to pay them like $5 a month
That's a scam.
to protect your lateral.
That's
For your
a
water
scam.
lateral. It was from American Water, some out of Indianapolis.
No, everything that we've sent out, all it is a barcode, you scan it, and
Yeah.
everything.
That's how I initially thought it was your letter, and I started looking at it, I was like, wait a second, this is.
No, ours is
This
ours is
actually
pretty
paid-
straightforward.
This is actually basically by
Ours to operate.
like a whole warranty. Yeah. It was basically a warranty to cover your lateral. Your insurance does not cover your lateral.
Oh, now there is people that, you know, that actually have insurance on their utilities, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you get it on the right of your homeowners, the
Yes.
insurance to cover it, but this was just for your water lateral, because I'm talking about the lead pipes.
Well, I've actually seen those commercials on TV.
I'll get it to you.
Oh, yeah.
I'll get it from my in-law, because I was like.
Yeah, somebody saw a way to make a buck.
That's why they.
I have seen those on-
And they're only sending it to people who built the houses in the 90s, because they know there's no way to know.
I didn't know who, somebody got the mailing list, I don't know, everybody, you may be getting some calls on that, but I can't imagine they just picked out my in-laws.
Just 120 waters.
Chris, did you sell the mailing list?
I wonder if the $4
Yeah,
It was
right.
American Water or something, I forgot, I'll look it
120 waters is one thing.
up. Okay, I didn't know who the contractor was, but I said there was.
Do you have anything else? Because I think people want to leave.
No.
You good?
I think we talked about it. Cross connection, I mean, I have started that plan, that's done deal, so. till we
But
get-
just gotta redo that ordinance sometime.
Right, but I went ahead and implemented it, so that way
Yeah.
I can show where we're doing it, so.
Yeah. And, just FYI for everybody, first well up's getting cleaned. And, no decision on well two yet. Chris wants to do some testing and then make a decision.
I'm definitely gonna do some testing while they're here, because it's
So
different.
both, we have 2 wells in budget, so about to spend the one and we'll see about the second.
Well, one's definitely good. It's,
The question on two is pumping fine, I always say that word wrong, manganese is kind of high in it, and,
well, I can run it just
yeah.
about 24 hours.
Yeah.
No machine takes,
So,
shut it down.
all right, if that's all on all those topics, we are going to go to the fun one, which is the rate increase discussion. So, you have a whole packet of information that has a letter from the Toka on the cover of it. And that is the Toka announcing that they are effective April the 1st. They're gonna raise our rate 28 cents. Okay? So that piece of information, that's that. The second one you have is an email that I pulled up. It is from December 6th of 22. Back the last rate study that we did. And you can read through it, but basically they came up with, well, they gave us 3 options. Option 3 was for a 20.86% increase. And if you read down through there, you'll even see where they allude to me having them take certain things out of the calculation. We didn't quite get along real well on that one, but we got there. And then you can also read on that it says that after discussion, an 18% increase for 2 to 3 years would probably get us through. So, This was 23, 24, and 25. Guess what? That's 3 years. Okay? So that left 2.86 of their recommendation that we have not implemented. Alright. So, next sheet is my little spreadsheet. Well, it's not even a spreadsheet. It's a copy spreadsheet that says Santa Claus water rate increase 2026, and it runs down through there from 2% to 9%. I think I forgot to mention, 28 cents increase in our water rate from Watoga is a 9% increase. Okay? So what I did was on an annualized basis, which we get down here a little further, I have an actual impact budget, but on an annualized basis, based on only, okay, I guess back up. My proposal is, I'm not doing a rate study. So if we're not doing a rate study, we do open ourselves up to people objecting. So I only want to do water, if you take a gallon of water. Don't care about fire protection, don't care about reconnection charges. We've already said we're going to do another rate study somewhere here in the next 2 to 3 years, okay? So we'll catch up those items when we get there, okay? I only want to deal, because Patoka's increase is only on gallons that flow, okay? So in our budget, $1,960,000 is water that flows, okay? It's not fire protection, it's not reconnection charges, it's water that flows. It's almost all of it, but that's our budget. 2-3 off the top of my head. So it's a big chunk of it. And then I pretty much know how many gallons we're gonna get from the tote. I just said a minute ago. It's pretty consistent. I can pretty much tell you how many gallons we're gonna get from the tote. So basically on an annualized expense, we need to cover $43,000 in expenses to the tote. Okay? And I think at this point, since we are doing a rate increase, we should pick up that 2.86% that we didn't enact from the rate study in 2023. Because the rate study that was good enough for 2 to 3 years. Okay?
And what is the percentage that increases this
Patoka's increase to us is 9%. To cover Patoka,
4.5 or 5 or something like that.
yeah, to cover Patoka, we've got to get to about 2.5. 2.5 to 3, okay? You have to do 2.5 or 3 just to cover Patoka. At 2.5, you would have $5,889 left over. Okay, that's what that column on the far right is. Now, folks, these are budget numbers and this is numbers, okay? So whatever we do, let's don't cut it that close, okay? This is, something happens, we gotta hit it hard 1 month, you wipe that out, okay? So 3% gives us 15,000 extra, okay? So at 3%, I think we probably covered Patoka. All right? So if we do at least 3%, we'll cover the Patoka increase. And then I'm recommending we do 6, because I'm taking that 3%, rounding the 2.86% up to 3%, and saying, let's just do 6 on water only, okay? And let's don't do it until the June 1 reads. By delaying it 2 months, that costs us $7,000, okay? But again, I just want to make sure we're in the positive here. We're not asking for too much, and we don't have to break our neck to get this thing done. Okay?
So what's the reason for the delay till June?
To round down that 6%. I can make it 5.5 and do it as April 1, but then I gotta make sure I get everything done. And I think June 1, I give everybody a chance to see it. I'm not upset on June 1 by any means, okay? I was trying to be as fair as I thought I could get away with to the people for this rating.
Well, Christie and Ginger
Yeah, you got 60 days, that's down.
Christie, well, they're the ones who will get hurt. Because if you say we're making it effective April 1st,
Yeah,
when our rate becomes effective, they could get it done.
they could, but they don't.
Not if they're gonna have a rate study back to justify their rates.
Well, and I think we do June 1st, it
They
gives
usually are
everybody,
the ones who get hurt by our rate increases because they don't have time to react.
Yeah.
And do their own rate increase, so they end up eating.
I mean, my thought is that if I go to the board meeting Monday and I say that and it's in the public, it gives everybody 6 months. Actually, it gives them longer than that, because they won't, the read will be June 1, they won't get a bill till July. Okay? Because you read it on June 1st. Okay? Well, on June 1st, we'll read the end of the old rate. And then when we read again in July, it's in the bill, that'll be your first bill that you get. So, and if we do 6%, we can afford it, okay? I didn't wanna go a whole lot less, and probably could make an argument for going more. I do not want the rate study that we do in 28 or whenever we do it to come back with another 20% increase. Part of what I'm trying to do is avoid that. You know, I don't think it would be near that. We don't see near the volatility we did in prices when we did this one in 22. Totally different environment right now. So,
So has it been made public yet that there's a rate increase?
if anybody who's keeping track of it knows about it, I mean, if you're working at it, you know. Tokas has been made public, and that every customer, municipality they serve got that letter. So, there's a lot of people that know.
And we notified our wholesale customers.
Yeah. So, you know, it's out there.
That net increase of 74,000 is based on that 6% prorated through that, or for the whole year?
For a year, that's for a year. The annual, I have farther down, I got, if we get through this, and I'll show you what it looks like for year 1. That's what it would look like for a whole year, okay?
Yeah.
And I only did it that way because we just got done doing budgets, so.
Yeah, that's enough, yeah.
So,
So that 74,000 is not totally accurate for 26.
no, it's actually, half that was $7,000.
Yeah. Yeah, so 6% is,
Yes.
what you want that or more.
Yeah, I kinda, you know.
You're not gonna feel the effect of that budget increase, or that 75,000 until the calendar year.
No, yeah, you're not really gonna get it until, in 27. You'll start noticing a little bit. And if, on that note, if you go to the last 2 pages, okay? There's copies of the budget there. And I have adjusted them. Okay? And if you look at the one that said revenue, and I think my adjustments are pretty close. Again, I know pretty much how many gallons we are going to buy from Token in this time frame. So, that's how the expense arrived. On the revenue one, the bolded items are the items that would get increased. And if you looked down at the bottom, it says excess income, $30,332. And if you look over to the left of that, the budget that we did was $200. So there's your $37,000, less than $1,000, is $30,000. Put in an actual number for it. And if we were to approve the 6%, or, and I could adjust that to whatever number is approved, then that would be what I would have to take to the town and have our budget revised and stuff. Basically, what the next steps are in this process now. One, as a group, we have to decide on an increase amount. Once we do that, and a date, then Kevin's got to send some letters to, 60-day notice letters to Christie and to Cherokee. And then I've got to go to the town and tell them we have a new recommendation for our rate ordinance. And they have to approve that and hold a public hearing. And hold a public hearing for the, I guess they gotta do that, right? Do the public hearing, then you approve the rate ordinance. Correct. So, those are the steps that have to occur. And if we can, it would help if we do this tonight, because then I can go Monday, even though I'm talking about June 1, these 60, 30-day notices and scheduling hearings, they sneak up on you pretty daggone quick.
Well, I'll have the ordinance prepared, depending on your recommendation, I'll have an ordinance prepared for Monday's meeting.
Right.
So they'll have the first reading of the ordinance on Monday.
Yeah.
Schedule the public hearing for February's meeting. It'll be passed in February.
Right.
If they agree.
Yeah.
Which I have no reason to believe.
Well, it's easy to justify. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think the 6% and wait until June is, if somebody wants to argue that we're being unfair, they're gonna have an uphill battle.
Well, it's not really a 6% increase even.
No,
If you're not, and that's the one thing that does concern me about, I'm not an expert on rate studies, obviously, that's why we have to hire the big shots out of Indianapolis to do them, but if you're only doing it on the water that's used, see, half of your rate increase here is actually based upon overall expenses of the plant. And
yeah, I'm
your
aware.
fixed cost, because that's why we have a service charge now. You're saying don't do it on the service charge.
Right,
do it on
I'm
the water.
doing it less, I'm less than what they said.
So, but, well, what I'm afraid of is your rates are gonna get somewhat skewed
Yeah.
from what they should be. Where you
Well-
may, instead of doing a rate study next time, you might need to do a cost of service study.
We're gonna have to do a
Because
cost of
You're
service.
jacking your rates around to where
Right.
you're not doing just an across the board increase.
The cost of service study is coming, but it will come when we get closer to making the decision on putting in a bigger plant. And that is not as far away as you would like
Well,
to
that's
think it is.
because your fixed costs get higher with that.
Yes.
So that means your service charge goes up, or your usage charge goes
Yes,
up.
yeah,
You know, might
it's-
stay more static at that point.
If we do a rate study every 5 years, we're gonna do a rate study in 28, a rate study in 22, and in 37, we're gonna do a cost of service study, because in 41, we're gonna have to decide whether we're putting in a treatment plant or not. Because the bonds will be paid off.
When did you say 41?
Which was,
I'm gonna be 71 years old.
Yeah, I'm not counting. I'm just saying that for the stock. Okay? But I actually have it wrote down on a piece of paper. It's actually sitting on my desk. I have whoever has this chair's life planned out for about the next 10 years. I don't have to do that, just follow the sheet of paper, send it with it. But yeah, to Kevin's point, it's 2.8% on everything. I rounded up to 3% on water only because I'm not doing it on everything. I don't have a rate study to back up the full 6%. So I'm just saying, fine, because I know, and I'm saying that because I know I'm gonna do a rate study. The only thing that's keeping me from saying let's do a rate study is I want the Rhine Hill line done, because if you read between the letters on that, email from 22, let's just say I had a lot of discussions with the rate people, because we were in the middle of a construction project. They kept adding two and coming up with 5 instead of subtracting 2 and coming up with 0. Yeah, but, anyway, anybody have thoughts on this, or we headed in the right direction, or? You have a question? I have all the numbers memorized, but I got a pretty good idea of most of them.
If you were Scott, you're just taking the 28 cents per thousand, what would that number be for, our
Well, it's about,
utility?
yeah, it's about, oh, well, I can tell you exactly.
Where's,
Yeah, I can tell you exactly.
I guess we'd have
I
to,
could actually-
we'd have to look at it on the year, I guess.
It's $43,000 on a year, 28 cents, based on
Yeah,
2025's gallons. It is that number times 28 cents. That's the 43,000, it's on that one sheet in the upper right, $43,111.
okay, that's what it'd be.
That's what it is.
That's the 28 cents across all the water we produce.
No, that's
Just
the
Patokas.
Just Patokas.
Just the total. Just the total. The 6% increase is for all the water we sell. Whether it's a wholesaler, house, theme park, factory, whatever. That is the budget. If you look at the budget on the revenue one, the highlighted items, those are only, residential, commercial, industrial, schools, wholesales, and government and churches. Those are people who use water. And that is 6% added to their 2026 budget number, adjusted for the fact that it doesn't start until June.
Assume a motion needs to say on purchase water.
For,
One main motion, so we're not doing the effort, it needs to be a motion on 6% on purchase water.
solar,
So,
solar. Yeah, 6% increase on water we sell. Meter water. Meter water, there you go. That's why we invite him, get his done.
Just to give you some idea, I was just coming up with the numbers here, just so you all are fully informed, wait a second.
You said
So,
one. didn't
well,
you?
but
Six.
I didn't give you, I gave you 2 ordinances, but just to break it down for you, for users, for a 1,000-gallon rate, you're going up 52 cents per thousand for the first 5,000 gallon use, 49 cents per thousand for the next 15, 44 per thousand for the next 25, and then 42 cents per thousand for Holiday World, it's 41 cents per thousand is what they'll be paying additional, and then for your wholesale customers, it's 37 cents per thousand, so your rate is going up. If you only do the metered water.
In your packet is the ordinance, the current rate
Yeah,
ordinance.
I gave you both the ordinance, yeah, you had both the ordinances there, but I thought nobody probably went through and did the math on that.
Yeah, so and I didn't mark it off, I just had it as.
Yeah, I was just doing that just to give you,
Yep.
be fully informed of what if somebody asks how much more am I gonna be paying, it's, well, it's 52 cents per thousand gallons, so for the average user, residential customer, if they use 2,000 gallons, you know, $1.04.
Yeah. That's a good way to,
Yeah, it's
good way
$1.
to look at it.
Yeah, it's $1.04 on your water bill, basically, that's gonna be if you use 2,000 gallons, which,
'Cause
yeah. I don't know what the average usage for a residential customer is, but those are people. who are-
It's
two or
between
three's gotta be.
2 to 3, it's
Two
the
to three.
average.
So that's when you can tell them it's gonna go basically $1 a month.
Yeah, yeah.
So Scott, I just get this in my mind, I guess.
No, it's all right.
So I run combined gallons at 28 cents per thousand, and that's 74,000 something. Is that how you come up with that? I'm just trying to see how you come up with that.
Over to the Patoka side.
So I just run our combined gallons.
No, don't do the combined. Well,
I guess what I was saying is if we raised our price 28 cents and Patoka raised their price 28 cents, what would that number be?
oh, it'd be pretty close.
It'd
It'd
be
be pretty close.
74,000 something.
Yeah, it'd be, it'd be really close. And one of the things, when we do our next rate study, is I wanna have that conversation about, how you said, like, I don't know if I wanna do a cost of service, but do we want to look at, when we do the next rate increase, doing a per gallon increase? Why do they do per gallon and not percentage, okay? So I wanna have that conversation, is there something I'm missing, what is that, I don't know. But see, Patoka's increase letter does not say a percentage, it says a per gallon. It's going up X cents per gallon. And.
They may have different zones too.
Well, they
Yeah,
have,
they've got
oh
like-
my God,
like
they
two
got,
rate structures.
yeah,
So
they
that's
got
why,
rates.
that's probably why it wasn't
There's
necessarily.
6 or 7 different rate structures, I think.
28 cents per gallon per use, residential, commercial.
Yeah, well, see, they have residential, and then like we're called tier 1, they have tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5.
Yeah.
Because it depends on where you're at.
Depends on the capital expenses to get the water.
Yeah, so if you're.
Like, St. Henry has the water tower up there that.
Yeah.
Patoka, Linville will have a Linville will have.
Have a totally different one.
It's a lot further.
St. Henry's is because they have, elevation wise, they pump some of it, they lift it. So, yeah, and then they have residential customers, that's a whole other.
They probably do it if they say it's average of 28 cents a gallon, it sounds like everybody's paying the
Well,
same cents per gallon.
I'm sure Baker
versus
Tilly
breaking
did
down
this
percentage.
for,
Hollywood's at 41 and residential's at 49, you're gonna
Yeah.
get the same, we're subsidizing Hollywood. It's-
Yeah.
for the hundreds of thousands of dollars that I'm sure they charged them. I'm sure they had a heck of a reason why it was 28 cents. But anyway, I
So I
don't,
mean, that would make sense to me. I mean,
Yeah.
our expenses are going up too,
yeah. And like I said, I mean,
I mean,
do
that,
this
if you
and-
have to have a rate study to prove it, well, then I guess we have to have a rate study.
I think it's defensible. I mean,
I-
That's the important thing is, there's no requirement to get a raise. The requirement is that you charge fair and reasonable rates.
Yeah.
So as long as you've got a basis to explain it.
And
as
I
to
think
why-
our basis is fairly solid, and it, if anything,
Yeah, I
leads
can,
to the customer.
it's, I can defend it. I just wanted to let you know.
Yeah.
That's why I sent you the email saying,
Yeah.
you do have some risk, because
Yes.
that's the best defense is a rate study.
Yeah.
But who out there is going to pay $15,000 to do their own rate study to counter your
Yes.
showing here? Because that's what.
So to pay for the rate study, it'd have to be 8%.
Yeah.
Joe customer out there would have to say, I'm gonna spend $15,000 on a rate study to challenge the
Yeah.
board's assertion of these rates.
$1.
Yeah, for your dollar a month.
Yeah, exactly. And, like I said, we come back and probably 28, and we'll snuff this up a little bit. Snuff it up again, like I said, it will,
Oh, and the only recourse is if they win, you don't get your 6% increase, the court actually can set what the
What the
rate
rate
is.
is,
So if you, I mean,
yeah.
what are they gonna gain? What is anybody, even a large customer, what are they going to gain by fighting it? Because, that's all that's gonna happen, is it gets adjusted down to 4% instead of 6%.
Yeah.
Well, you're guaranteed 3% from
Yeah, it'll cover my costs, so. But anyway, that's kind of where we're at. Everybody.
So one other question.
You keep going.
How does that determine, or how does that play out then, Kevin, on the different tiers that we have? Since we're doing it on a percentage and not on a
Each
per
one.
gallon.
Well, that's what I was giving, you,
Yeah.
the 6%, it's 52 cents on the first, the small users.
You have the old rate ordinance in your packet there.
Okay.
Yeah, then
Yeah, I saw that a minute ago.
For the wholesale customers, instead of being, theirs went up 37 cents.
Right,
So that's what I'm saying, it's not really a true 6% increase either.
Yeah. Cause on their.
What do we wanna do by the gallon?
No.
No, because
No.
your rates are differentiated, I mean,
Yeah.
that would skew your rates to be
Yeah.
unfair even more,
Yeah.
because that's
Cause
what
see,
that
that's skewing the rates, and that's why I wanna have that conversation, because see, our rate, if you look at the Patoka customers, we have one of the best rates going, okay? I mean, by far. And so I'm trying to figure out why they went to 28 cents, and I think I might be getting.
It must be all production costs, it
So
has to be
what-
all production costs. is what
Yeah,
it
well,
is.
why not do
It can't
10% for me and 10% for the next person to see if.
It has to be something they're planned, and that's what they've been
So,
talking about.
so Holiday World's our biggest customer probably.
Yeah.
I'm sure, so what's their increase? Like,
I think
per
we're
gallon.
six, eight.
That's why they sell
Yeah,
that.
it's 41
price
cents.
Per gallon average.
41 cents,
41 cents and they're paying 6.86 now, so,
it goes to
Gotcha.
7.27.
yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, Patoka's increase has to be based upon production costs, because it
Right,
costs
but-
the same to produce
But
water
see,
for
like
everyone.
me, at us at 307, okay, that's about 9%. But I gotta guarantee you, Linville's rate's $5 or something, okay?
Right,
That's
but that's based.
28 cents for them,
That's based upon Patoka's cost of production and distribution.
yeah.
See, that's where Patoka, I mean, to come up with an across the board per gallon charge, it has to all be production costs.
Yeah. Yeah,
It can't have anything to do with their distribution, because that's what causes their differentiation in rates,
it's the distribution.
is the
But the
distribution.
28 cents skews that, because 28 cents for a
Well,
$5 customer and a $3 customer.
But when you get into cost of service, that's why I'm saying that 28 cents that they're doing has to be all production costs.
Yeah. So, anyway,
Because
that,
it costs.
when
costs
we
them
get
the
into
same
dollars,
amount
I
of-
wanna have that discussion to see. I enjoy it, it's, I can't play
It is odd to do that, but it had to all be tracked back, somehow they're
Somehow.
all back to
it.
cost.
And they've been doing this for a while, this particular study, I know, has almost been a year in the works. I mean, so there's been some serious calculators that have come through here. Any more questions on it? Anything that's not real clear? Everybody kind of feel the 6%, gets us to 28?
That's why it doesn't increase that.
Yeah.
Well, I figure about the time we get it done, we gotta build that in so that we just automatically do it, so.
After we make a amendment, they send another rate increase.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
says,
did you make a motion while ago?
No,
No, okay.
You ask more questions, you're the vice president.
So what is a motion for recommendation, what do we need to say?
it needs to make if we like the 6% on metered water, and then are we okay with the June 1 date? Effective June 1, and, that's all we need.
It's to recommend to the town council
Yeah.
to alter the rate structure to increase metered usage of water effective June 1st by 6%. That would be your motion.
I didn't get on that, that's okay.
I spoke slowly. The recommendation would be, or the motion would be to recommend to the town council to alter the rate structure for the water utility to increase metered water usage charges by 6% effective June 1st, 2026.
Get that, Teresa?
So you can just say so moved if you like.
I move recommending the town council to alter the metered rates or metered water charges effective June 1st, 2026.
By
By
6%.
6%.
I second.
Any more questions on this? Motion carries. Now, quite as easy as I thought it might be. Okay, I guess now we're gonna find out how much money Chris spent, he's not here, so we can talk about it.
I have water vouchers in the amount of $144,659.79.
I move to pay vouchers in the amount of $144,659.79.
All those in favor?
Alright.
Aye. Opposed?
Do you have blue?
You'll put me on Monday's agenda,
Yes.
and Kevin, you'll get a rate ordinance together and get it to everybody.
Mark might
Yeah.
draft one up, say it increased everything 60% across the board, so we'll just marking that up for 1 second here.
Yeah. So David, when you do our February meeting, before the meeting starts, you'll have to go see her. She will have paperwork, and you gotta raise your hand and say I did too.
Surely, one of,
We can just do it right before the meeting, so you don't have to make
is
another trip.
anybody else up? Surely some of this board's up for renewal this year.
But it's on the little thing there, she's got a
It
little
is?
on there. Yeah,
I didn't see it.
Oh, it's on our
it's on our
agenda.
agenda.
It's in 2017.
Is that everything we gotta sign?
That's it.
That it, I move to adjourn.
I second.
We're adjourned.